Welcome to Cultivating Victory. Today is January the 4th, 2018. I'm here with Glenn Schultz from Schultz Family Farms.
Hey, Mary.
And our special guest today is Sandy Stein of Zia Health Options here in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Sandy. Welcome. Sandy is a business coach. She shows people how to get small businesses and home-based businesses off the ground. And people might wonder, well, why do I have her as a guest on a show about food systems? And part of our model for restoring food systems goes back to small and local business development, because if you don't have small businesses, you're not going to be able to sustain local farms and gardens. And so to me, it's all an integrated part of the picture, and that's why I think we really need people doing the kind of work that Sandy does. So Sandy, I guess I'll let you take it from there.
Okay. So I've been in my own business for several years, and I've ranged from brick and mortar. I had hotel, resort, that type of business, rentals, rehab businesses, to I've done network marketing. I've done a variety of things. And there is one thing that is just true no matter what you're doing in small business. You have a setup process. The process appears to be the same with almost any business, unless you're going corporate and large business. And then that is something I never touch, I refer out. The very first thing is you make up your mind that you want to be in business, and you just do it. If you are helping somebody else decide what they want to do or how they want to process or proceed, then first of all, they have to have the mindset to just do it. They want to be in business, and then they're going to go forward. So I kind of have broken this into 7 steps. So you need your intent, your structure, the name of your business, licensure, mentorship and education, and bookkeeping and taxes. So those are the 7 steps that you need to focus on. And I mean, I could talk for hours on this, so this is 10 minutes. You want to decide, what is it I want to do? Why do I want to do this? And evaluate what it is and why. Why do you want to be in a business of your own as opposed to working for someone? Because a business isn't for everybody. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It takes a special commitment. You want to figure out, once you know your reasoning, once you know why you want to do this, then you need to know or figure out what's going to work best for you as far as structure. Are you going to have a sole proprietorship where you use your social security number on everything? Are you going to set up an LLC? Is this big business and you're going to do a corporation? There are benefits to each and every one of them. And if this is a small business that has very little liability, has very little, a smaller amount of income, you may want a sole proprietorship. You may want to use your social security number on everything. If you have, for my business, my daughter and I are in this together, Zia Health Options. She does the internet security part of my business, our business. And so we have an LLC. And that, when you have a couple of people, the LLC is a good way to go, because it protects, it gives you, offers you a greater amount of protection if something happens and you happen to be sued. Whereas a single member LLC isn't quite that secure, I guess is a good word. So it depends on what kind of income you're generating, how many people are owning this company and actively participating in it, then, and what kind of limitations you have or may have. Once you've got all that figured out and you make a choice, and there's so much more to this than just what I'm saying today. So if there's something you want, or you want somebody to get some help with this, this is a process that takes a little time. Once you have all that figured out, you need to figure out a name. I believe names mean a lot. I believe that names impact your business. So name it properly, name it with some thought. Make your business mean something to you, because you're going to put it out to other people and they're going to understand that, oh, this is important. This means something. They've given this a lot of thought. Once you have your business name, you need to make sure it's available. And there's websites for that. It's pretty simple. And you may have to tweak the name to get it to be your own. And this is if you're doing anything other than a sole proprietorship, by the way, because a sole proprietorship has your own name on it. So you're using your name, your social. There are different licensures to get. You need your EIN, your state sales tax license. There's, depending on the state you're in. Just coming from Wisconsin, being in business, to New Mexico in business, there's differences. There's significant differences. So these are things that we have to look into and evaluate. What do you need for your business in your state? And those licensures are very important, because without them, you might encounter a few fines, and they're a little uncomfortable to deal with from time to time. So we want to make sure that a business has all the proper licensures. Now, when I do network marketing, I don't usually have a lot of people in my home for that. It's a lot of phone calling. It's a lot of meeting people places. And so I don't need any kind of special use permit for that. Now, even for my online business, my coaching business, I don't need special use permits for that. If you have a business where you're having a lot of people into your home and you're zoned residential, and it's not a dual zone where you can have business there, you will need to apply for special use permits. And these are things you don't want to overlook, because without them, your business could be shut down. And just recently dealt with a situation with a friend who's in business, and they didn't know about the special use permit, but they didn't ask me either. So unfortunately, so they had to quickly get all of this paperwork and information submitted. The next thing you want to look at after you've gotten your licensures all taken care of, what kind of mentorship or education are you going to need above and beyond what you already have? Now, you may have all of the education you need, but do you have anybody mentoring you? Mentorship is important. It's equally as important as your knowledge-based education in your education in your field. So when you're venturing into a new area, seek out guidance and mentorship. Once you have that lined up, you're ready to look at how you're going to handle your business going forward. Who's going to do your bookwork? Who's going to do all the accounting? Who's going to set up contacts, set up your internet, maybe contact based? However you have your business set up, you'll want to know and have a plan for who's going to be helping you, or maybe you're going to be doing it all yourself. If you're going to do it all yourself, what are you taking time away from? Can you afford the time? And maybe you don't have a choice in the first 6 to 8 months or year. You may have to find time for everything. You may have to really become good at multitasking and time management. These are things you need to know in advance so you're not blindsided, so you're prepared. The bookkeeping is a major deal, and it's time consuming. And if you don't have any experience at all, you might want to get help at least getting it set up by someone who knows the program you're going to use, who knows the processes and different things that you're going to be responsible for. And the other thing, once you've got all the bookkeeping set up and it's done at the end of the year, whatever year, you're going to want to get some guidance on taxes. Do you have experience doing taxes? Great and wonderful. Buy a program, do it. If you don't have any experience, have somebody do it for you, at least the first year, maybe 2 years. It can be expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than making a major mistake. So those major mistakes are costly, and they're very easy to have happen. So when I first got into business, I had a brick and mortar. I had my resort, and I had a network marketing business going at the same time. That was quite a few years ago, but I hired a tax accountant. It was an accounting firm, and they did my taxes, and they had everything all set up. I learned so much. I mean, I've taken classes on taxes. It's not like I'm unfamiliar with it, but I thought this was a new business. I didn't want to make any mistakes. I hired a firm to set it up for me. They actually did my taxes 2 years in a row. And then I took it over myself because I saw the process they were using. I applied it to my own programming, and I went from there. And it's worked out well. But I didn't want to make any mistakes. I wanted to know that I was on the right track. They did everything I would have done, and it made me feel a little more confident about my own capabilities. So that's pretty much the gist of setting up a business. And it's basically making a decision and just do it. But do it in an educated, structured manner so that you take care of yourself. Any questions?
Thanks, Sandy. I really liked the overview as far as just kind of the process. I think especially those of us who have dealt with any kind of network marketing company see that there's a tendency to just jump in, just do it, just sign on the line, you're in, you have your business. And then you get hit with tax bills or with all these other angles to it. And you're right. There's a great part. I mean, I love the just do it philosophy in that you really don't learn until you start getting in there.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, a lot of times we learn from our mistakes. And so if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not pushing yourself very hard, and you're not learning things. But you said something very important there at the beginning in terms of kind of the characteristics, and entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. What do you see as the characteristics that make somebody successful, whether you're starting a farm, starting a network marketing organization, or starting any kind of business? What distinguishes the successful entrepreneur from a good employee?
Well, a good employee goes in and works 9 to 5 or whatever their designated hours, and they do a really good job while they're there. And then they go home and they have a life. A good entrepreneur does whatever it takes until it's done. And the good employee doesn't have that same commitment. It's one of those things that you have to go into business knowing that, hey, this is my livelihood. This is me. This is everything that I want. And I know that I have to maintain a positive flow. Whatever kind of business you have to stick to it. You have to be motivated. You have to be a self-starter. You have to be driven. You have to just be willing to do whatever it takes. And a good employee will only do that in a designated time frame. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to be willing to do this whenever it's needed. And I always, when I talk to people about setting up their own business, it's always, are you willing to do this? Are you willing to work until 10, 12 o'clock at night? Well, no. I said, well, then you probably don't want your own business, because I don't want to push somebody into something that they're going to regret or that's going to cost them dearly financially down the road. They have to be aware up front. And I'm real big into the blatant honesty. Here's what you're going to be looking at. Are you prepared? Are you willing to do this? And those people that are self-starters, self-motivated, and they're just go-getters, it's fantastic. The outcome can be amazing. If they're not, there can be a lot of issues. And
So let's talk about that a little bit. You say the outcome can be amazing, and quite frankly, you're describing a lot of hard work. What are the rewards that come from owning your own business?
for me, especially in the coaching and somewhat in the network marketing, but in the coaching especially, I see people that the light bulb goes on. Oh, I get this. And I'm going to do this, and that. It's, you guide and you prepare people. I mean, I guide and prepare people to do whatever it is that their dreams are. Whatever their dreams are, that's where I help them. I conform to their needs and help them make their dreams come to fruition. There is nothing, well, almost nothing, more rewarding than seeing people achieve a level of success that they wanted, that their goal was to meet their goals or exceed their goals. It's the most rewarding feeling ever. And except where my grandkids are concerned, I have to say that tops everything. But, in business, helping somebody achieve their goals is pretty darn rewarding. And in the network marketing, and I will say this, for those of you that are in network marketing, if you are trying to get somebody involved in your company and there's some resistance, and you may want to find out why, ask a lot of questions, because I did all of this the hard way and the wrong way. So I know what not to do for sure. And I loved my friends so much, and I knew that my business was the perfect business for everybody. Well, surprise, it isn't necessarily. What do they want? And I forgot to ask them, what is it you want? And what are your goals? But if they're resistant, there's a reason. Find out the reason. But rewarding is watching people that you care for in your line of business, or people that you've helped through your business, become healthier, more successful, happier, all these positive attributes. It's really wonderful. And I've enjoyed that part of it very much.
Hey, Sandy, I'd like to follow up on one of the things you said on
Sure.
setting goals. We're at the beginning of the year and everybody's doing new resolutions and maybe new business goals and targets. Well, one thing I'd like you to comment on is that really in being in business for yourself, and especially in farming, I think probably for any business, is really more of a process. It's small incremental steps consistently over time that really makes goals achieved. I mean, I think when I first started doing business, I had the visions of all these great, wonderful things in my mind, and that was the goal. But I've come to realize that to get there, there's a lot of steps that happen in between, and to recognize the fact that I have achieved those. And failure is really more of a learning process and not something to be ashamed about.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Half of all of my failures, or most of my failures, have attributed to my success at this point in my life. And some of those failures I would never have learned had I not done it wrong the first time, or mishapped the first time, whether it was a process or things that were out of my control that I didn't know to anticipate. And I'm very much in tune to the farming aspect. I've pitched quite a few bales of hay in my life. And my grandfather owned a farm, and I was there as often as I could be because I love the animals, and I love, he had a dairy farm. And so it's a lot of work. And especially if somebody's getting into farming, it's a lot of cost, it's a lot of work, and a lot to anticipate. And that's where guidance and mentorship is really important. And failure is going to happen no matter what. I mean, you can't foresee everything because there are too many things that are out of your control. Weather is a big deal in farming. And if you have a bad year, and it could be catastrophic depending on how you're capitalized, and it can take you down. Or you weather it, it's tight, and you move on and you learn from it and you get stronger. A lot of people aren't properly capitalized, and I didn't touch on that, but that's the main reason businesses fail: undercapitalization. So depending on what the business is different things. This is, I stumble on words, but
yeah.
edit that out, will you please?
We're trying to summarize everything you need to know about business in 10 minutes.
Oh gosh,
I think
Mary,
it's probably important to point out that you definitely need to talk to somebody and get the individualized information. This is just an overview of ideas.
Right. And farming, it's one of those businesses that I wholeheartedly believe you need more than one person involved as far as running it, learning about it. Get some guidance, get some mentorship involved.
So, Sandy, thank you so much for coming out today and sharing these ideas and kind of giving us a very unique perspective on entrepreneurship. Glenn, do you have anything else to add?
No, I would just want to thank Sandy for the great information. It's spot on, and I look forward to learning more from you in the future.
Thanks, Glenn.
Okay.